Where is the problem? When we should be like more concerned about it? As I told you at the very beginning, that I'm no expert in ADHD. I'm working more on the preventive side. If you feel that your child has diagnosed ADHD, you can benefit from the things that I'm going to tell you, the techniques that I'm going to tell you, but you definitely need to go to the experts for that. Now, so far, the things that we have covered are related to the kids who are normal, who don't have any issue in their brain, and they are just hyperactive for some normal reason. And if you work on those areas, you will definitely feel your children settling down. But when it gets tricky is when there is actually a rewiring, a different wiring system present in the brain of the children. And these are the children who would be either just tactile, kinesthetic, hyperactive, or they have a tendency to develop ADHD. And a lot of people who are working on ADHD, they say, if you work on all those areas that we are going to be talking about, you will be able to either prevent ADHD if it is going to be of the mild nature, or even if your child is diagnosed with ADHD and you work on all those areas, you will inshallah see a lot of improvement in these kids. So, number one thing that you have to understand is you might have a child who apparently looks normal, but there is a different wiring or different connections that are there in his brain. Your job is to let the same wiring, the same connection stay there but become functional. What we usually try to do is initially we are just juggling with the things in a very haphazard manner. Now there are a lot of more complicated wiring that starts happening over there in the brain, and then we don't know where to pick the right thread or how to streamline it. So how do we know? There are certain things that we need to understand about a child who is more than just a hyperactive child. Now I'm using three terms as well: hyperactive, tactile, kinesthetic. Is there any difference in between these three terms? Yes, very fine difference. Hyperactive, probably a child who's just jumpy. Tactile, who is more jumpy. And then kinesthetic, who has some more features of it. But there is such a fine line that probably the experts are going to be more into it. If they're running the proper test, they will be able to diagnose it. But for us, we can use all these three terms and try to just work on our children in all these areas. The first area that we need to understand is the issue of inattention. What am I supposed to do about this? Let us try to understand what are the issues we face. There is poor attention to task and its detail. You will tell your child to do a certain thing. He is not going to be attentive. If you give him any details, pull out your copy, do your work, and then put it back in your bag. You will immediately feel that he is not paying attention. Apparently, he will seem like not listening. Many a times you'll get this complaint from the school. The teacher will say, your child looks very intelligent, but he doesn't pay attention. Self-organization for this child is a very poor area. This child is going to avoid the tasks which require sustained mental effort. It could be doing some homework, or if you give these children puzzles, sometimes when you see that the child is not paying attention, and we look at other normal children who are at length sitting with the puzzles and working on them, we think maybe, I'll get my kid a puzzle and this child will work on it. But no, sorry, he's going to dread working on puzzles. He will be very easily distracted. Something happening in the next room or in the basement or in the next house is going to be very, very appealing for him. And he cannot finish tasks. And this is again a major problem for the moms when they go to the school and the teacher has some exams or assessment and they say that there were 10 questions and they were very straightforward questions and he didn't complete them. I had given him some reminders as well. And they seem forgetful, but their memory testing is normal. They are sometimes noisy, they can't play, or they work quietly. Now, second important area for these children is they are very impulsive. How do we know that? How do we assess that? They blurt out answers too soon. And that really irritates teachers or adults or the senior people in the house. And they fail to wait for their turns, whether they are in a queue, you are at home serving all the kids something, they want to talk to you about something, they will interrupt or intrude on others' activities. they're going to be talking excessively. And when they're talking excessively, they are not looking at the needs around the environment. Sometimes the people are going to look at your kid and think, this kid is weird. And he's just talking without noticing that this is a place where we need to be quiet. Third important area for these children is they are overactive. We have already as such talked about it, but what is there in this overactivity? They fidget. They leave the seat in the classroom or even at home in the meal times when everyone is sitting and they wouldn't want to be there with you. They would run or climb the stairs rather than walking. They're persistent overactivity, so that what's happening is that the normal social demands, they are not even concerned about it. A little bit of memory activity that I want to play with you. I really want you to focus on this thing. Now, I'm going to give you a scenario of a mother who is waking up her son in the morning for the school, and look at the instructions she is giving to her son. Ahmed, get up. Wake up, hurry up, you have to say your dua and rush to the washroom. Okay, I'm going to make you a sandwich right now, and would you like to have a milk with it? And now the mother has gone to the kitchen. Ahmed, she's calling out from the kitchen. Ahmed, make sure you brush your teeth. Ahmed, your shoes are there in the rack. Ahmed, I hope you have woken up your sister. Ahmed, tell your dad that he has to be up in time. Ahmed, you need sandwich, you need tuna, or you need veggies in it. Did you make your dua when you went inside to the washroom? Ahmed, okay, what about your stationery? Where's your maths copy? Did you put that maths copy inside there? Ahmed, the milk is over there. Ahmed, you haven't finished your milk. Ahmed, where is your shirt? Ahmed, you are wearing the wrong thing. Ahmed, where did you put this pencil? Ahmed, your pen is there. Your razor is there. Where's your sister? Ahmed, did you tell your sister to do all the things that I have already told you to do? Now we are loading our children with instructions after instructions after instruction. Trust me, if I tell any one of you to repeat exactly what I said or do exactly what I said, you will be lost in a while and you'll tell me, excuse me, can you slow down? Can you give me one thing at a moment? Would you wait so that I finish off one job and then we move on to the next job? If a normal kid cannot cope with the instructions that we give to them, either as a parent or as a teacher, what do you expect with this child who is kinesthetic, tactile, hyperactive? Because he has one issue in his brain wiring, and that is working memory deficit. What is this working memory? Now, this is one area which is really new. A lot of psychologists are working on it. Working memory is your short-term memory, and this is the memory which helps us do a certain thing right away there and then. Basically what happens is, because there is a deficit of this working memory, the cognitive representation, it fades away quickly, so that the children's behavior is going to be totally disorganized. He is not able to comprehend, he just forgets it. Because of this failed working memory, the child is not able to give attention to what he was supposed to do, because he'll be just like sitting and thinking, what was I supposed to do? Because he is not able to focus on that area, he will divert his attention towards any other stimulus which is either interesting or which is catching his attention, so that he is sort of avoiding or escaping from whatever was asked of him or whatever is expected of him. So if we look at 4 missing factors over there, number 1, since there is no working memory, it is not really working properly, he cannot hold the rules for a long period of time. And this is an issue in school and at home, because many a time the mentors or the teachers and the parents, they're frustrated. They're like, I have told him 100 times, I have told him 1,000 times. And they keep calling the name of the child and keep telling him, how many times do I have to tell you? Why don't you understand this thing? Do you want me to engrave it somewhere? Second important thing we find out is there is no internalization of speech. That means they don't have any self-talk to repeat instructions. Now, as a normal human being, what we do, somebody tells you to do something, bring me so-and-so book. So when you're going there, when you're walking toward that room, what you're doing is you're having a self-talk. Okay, I have to get this book. It's probably going to be on that shelf. No, I think it's on that drawer. Should I get this book or should I also get another book? So this self-talk helps us stay connected to our working memory, and we are able to respond. Now this child, he doesn't have a self-talk. So the working memory deficit is there, then he doesn't have a self-talk, and then third thing, there is no self-regulation activity. He cannot do it for any consequences. He's not thinking about the consequences. In the same example, if somebody's asked me to fetch the book, this is there in my working memory, I have to get the book. While I'm going toward that room to get the book, I am having a self-talk. In which shelf, in which drawer, which one? Should I just take this one book, or should I also take in the other book? And then I also have a self-regulation activity. When I'll bring back the book, my mom is going to be happy. My husband will have a smile on his face. If I bring the wrong book, somebody can get upset with me. This is self-regulation. Now, this child doesn't have self-regulation. He cannot think that somebody would be shouting at me, would get upset with me, would get happy with me, because we keep offering rewards or sometimes warn the children that if you don't do a certain thing, I'm going to be very angry with you or you'll be grounded. But these children are not able to comprehend that. And the fourth thing is reconstitution. They cannot improve anything in the light of the past experience. In the same example, again, if I'm bringing one book, and I suddenly remember, last time my mom asked me to get this book. I held it very casually. I dropped it somewhere. Or I got the wrong book. Let me look for another similar book over there. So I'm going to be very cautious for the next time based on the reward or the punishment or the warning. But this child has total blackout on past experience. So now imagine this whole scenario, because many times when we look at these children, we get so much frustrated. A couple of additional features that these children can have. They insist that the request be met, whatever they want it there and then. These children have very poor self-esteem. Why? Because nobody's happy with them. The teacher, the children, even the parents. What the child sees on the face of everyone is frustration, labeling. He feels incompetent in handling anything that he's doing. He would have, because of that, mood swings and temper outbursts. Definitely depression and anxiety would be there. There is a lot of rejection by the peers. Because of the lack of this sustained effort, what he's doing is he's sometimes interpreted as lazy, or someone who is not responsible enough for his things, or he has oppositional behavior. What really hurts me deeply is that we look at these children and we think all his behavior is willful. Ye jaan ke karta hai. He is doing everything intentionally. This is like something which really tears my heart apart. When I look at these children and what is happening inside them, and they're so helpless, and we are not out there to help them. And yes, they're also injury or accident prone. They also have low behavior inhibition system. Now, this is very interesting to understand, though I've talked about it in the last slide. What is this behavior inhibition system? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed this system in us. We have a reward system and we have an inhibition system. The reward system gives us this urge to go ahead and do something because we'll be rewarded for that. And we have an inhibition system whenever we plan to do something which is against the norms or the rules, regulations, whatever has been given to us. This inhibition system tells us to put a stop to that behavior. But in these children, they have low behavior inhibition system, which means that they don't care. They feel that it is not important if they do it or they don't do it. So now imagine, with all these factors that I've talked about, that this is going to bring in a low frustration tolerance in adults. It simply blows away your mind, because many a time the mothers ask me, how long would he be like this? Would he be like this all his life? What am I supposed to do?